everybody. We're all good? Okay, so I'm John P. Roberts, and really happy to be here. It's my second year at the festival, and last year I just joined a company, Pure Imagination Studios, and it was really more to talk about production. And it was really before we had delved in really deep into the VR experience. So today what I'll do is, I only have 20 minutes, I'm going to be quick. The good news is I'm from Rochester, New York, and I talk really fast. My wife's somewhere here that's going to tell me to slow down if I talk too fast. There she is. So wait, where's my eye? Just press this button. This isn't working, guys. What do I need to do? There we go. Perfect. So today I'll do a really quick overview of Pure Imagination. Then I'll talk you through Alien Descent, which is our VR experience that's at the Outlets of Orange. Show you a little video and then tell you about some key learnings that we had. And I don't think we have time for quite Q&A, but I'm happy to talk to you afterwards. So Pure Imagination Studios, we are a production company. Our founder likes to call us kind of like a micro studio. Not that we're tiny in the sense of that, but more that we try to do it all. We are script to screen. We do a lot of location-based entertainment. We've partnered up with people like Marvel, Lego, Fox, probably about 40% of all Lego media. If anyone's ever gone to Legoland, we did the 4D Lego Adventure. We just wrapped up Guardians of the Galaxy Lego and Black Panther Lego. My 6-year-old's very happy about that. And we really focus on everything from television, film, and any type of immersive type of experience. And VR is something that we're taking on in a really big, big way right now. Our mission is really to tell stories that populate the imagination. I mean, sometimes you walk into our place and it feels like we are the Willy Wonka of entertainment, because our founder won't even call himself a CEO. He's the chief executive of fun. That's on his business card, and I love that he does that. Our vision is where we can literally, take that line between imagination and reality, and make everyone experience something through wonder. And that's really, I feel like, where we are going with our location-based VR initiatives. The first thing we did was Alien. That's why we're here today. A year ago, we partnered up with FoxNext Destinations to create a VR experience, and we picked what we thought was the best way to go, which is a big brand. There's a lot of cool things that are going on in VR right now. Some original content, which I think is really compelling. In fact, I was just doing a roundtable with the guy that created Hero. So for those of you that may have seen that before, it was the most incredible experience of original content. But in trying to create a big awareness around this, we decided to go with Aliens. And the franchise has had several movies. People love it. It's a big sci-fi thing, and we thought it might match up with the like-mindedness of people that like to have gameplay and do these types of things. So in doing that, we really had to kind of create the brand platform. And we knew that we needed to have a purpose, what was our game, our promise and the experience, and then these pillars around it. And in doing so, we really looked at the purpose of, really immerse consumers into their favorite brand. Like, people that love Aliens, like, we had a guy go through this other stuff that had one sense that when he walked out, he's like, well, the xenomorphs that you used, it's xenomorphs that you used were so on. And I noticed that the planet was whatever he used. I'm like, how'd you know that? And I had no idea. I mean, like, some of these guys were so into it that they loved the brand, and we wanted to make sure that we did that right. The promise was like having you become a Colonial Marine and throwing you in the middle of this survival mission and trying to survive. And the experience was truly about just getting that adrenaline up and making you jump out of your skin at times. Like, I went through it, and I've been through it now no less than 6 to 7 times, and at least now at this point, I know it's coming, and I still jump a lot of times. And if I'm actually watching someone else do it, I like to sometimes screw with them and grab their legs, and they have no idea what's going on. So the game pillars, what we tried to do was make this immersive. Part of that was like really taking the Alien experience in a new way with VR. And part of doing that was we wanted to take away just doing things that made you no tether, no backpack. We wanted you to just have a free roaming experience. And that was kind of what we wanted to do. So being authentic was really getting into the franchise. And the minute you walk into our experience, you're greeted by people dressed up as Marines. Like, they are welcoming, Marine, good thing you're here on time. And you literally get into this whole narrative that makes you, before you even put the goggles on, you are now part of this experience. Then, really about the thrilling part is exploring a seemingly abandoned planet. We put you in a cryosleep, and then you literally revolve into this wall, and then you go into this planet you've never experienced. It's a brand new world. I remember the first time I went through it, we were in the beta, and I'll show you some pictures of our beta time. And for me, it was my aha moment, because I showed up, we get a sound stage, it's kind of like, they built a set, they didn't want me to see it yet, they kind of backed me into it, put the stuff on, I could see my arms, and I get motion sickness. So for me, I wasn't really excited about this, because I'm like, what if I get dizzy, what if I throw up, people are gonna mock me? And they turned me around, and all of a sudden, like, boom, I could see everything. I could see, there's a handrail, and I reached out, I could actually touch it. And that, for me, the minute I was able to touch that, I literally had this grounded experience. I was like, wait, my brain realizes I can touch things, I feel safe, and for the next 12 minutes, I was lost in this mining colony in outer space, and I loved every second of it. And when I pulled off the mask, I'm like, I want to do it again. And I looked around like, this is it? Like, it was wood and plastic tubes. I'm like, this is just in the beta phase. I'm like, this is mind-blowing to me. And then really, the last part of the pillar was what we call, the communal pillar. To just do this by yourself was, again, I did it by myself during the beta phase. I thought this was fantastic. But when we finally launched it, we made it so that 4 people can go through it at once. So 4 friends, 4 not friends, but you can literally go through this, see each other. You see each other as, Marines, and we have 2 operations, like 2 sets side by side. So you're seeing 2 teams of 2, but you can see them across the bridge and actually wave to them as Marines. It's a very cool, compelling experience. So when we went through the beta, this is just some screenshots of people. This is, again, you see the set does not look sexy. This is where we literally put hundreds of people through to see what they could do. And I mean, there was times where we had people literally rip their mask off and say, I can't do this. This is so scary to me. So there was times where we realized like we're really freaking people out. We had to find that balance. So we tested this and tested this and tested this. Even the weaponry that we were using, like the pulse rifle, that's a complete beta gun. We knew we had to make it streamlined and work. We were going through multiple, headsets. We realized like, we need to be ready. Some of the learnings were, we have to have backup equipment after backup equipment to make sure that anything can go wrong will go wrong. And we were really prepared for that. So once we got through that beta test, we went into launch mode. So this past April, working with Fox, we launched the first free roaming. When I say free roaming, we didn't beat out the Void, but what we did was we beat out not using a backpack or a tether or anything like that. And we launched this at the outlets of Orange County. It's in California, right near Disneyland. We are in this giant outlet mall that's across the street from AMC theaters, next to GameStop. And another thing that I would say that if you look at location-based, location counts. So we were getting foot traffic after people were leaving the movies. People are going to play, buy video games at GameStop. It really worked well together. So that launched, and I think what I'll do now is show you a little bit of video so you can see what I've been talking about.
Listen up, Marines. I'm Sergeant Winters of the USCN. We've been handed a search and rescue mission that's taking us to the mining facilities out on LV-178. A few weeks ago, they reported some sort of infestation that was disrupting operations. 2 days later, we lost all contact with the facility. For immediate evac and treatment at the company's nearest outpost. This is an Alpha priority mission, so gear up, Marines, and good hunting.
So even if that video, we then show a safety video on how the gun works. So we actually, like, it's a real piece of equipment. So we explain how that works. We bring them into the room. We set them up, making sure that the VR goggles are working for them, that they can see their hands, that everything is good to go. Once we feel that they give us a thumbs up, we put them on this revolving wall. And they make them look like they're going through a cryo sleep. So you literally see your masks go this cross, and then they turn, and off they start. Barely gives it justice until you're in there, because when you hear, even on the platform, certain sound effects, and you turn around and you see one of those aliens staring at you, it's your adrenaline, like you go into a flop sweat, at least I did. And it's one of those things where, you know, we even instruct people that if it gets too scary, just stop, put your weapon down, put your arms up, and we will get you out of there. And it's happened.
And you'll be eaten.
And you will be eaten, yes you will. It's funny, I mean, I hate to tell this, but my wife's right there, and she's one of the first people where they have to press the abort button because she just couldn't even get past the revolving wall. It just was like, honey, I'm getting claustrophobic. But it was my mom, my 82-year-old mother did it, and I'll show you that later. Anyways, some of the key learnings here was, you know, we really look at, you know, we have 10,000 guests since we launched in April. You know, so again, we can do 4 people every 15 to 20 minutes or so, and we're getting sold out very quickly. This is for us a proof of concept. By no means, if we're going to talk about revenues and whatnot, it's not having just a one pop-up shop type situation isn't a very profitable thing. But what we are doing right now is trying to figure out the landscape. Our goal at Pure Imagination is to launch a bigger venue that would have multiple VR experiences, food and beverage, the whole thing. And this is a really great example for us to learn from this type of stuff. Some of the things that we learned is, you know, it's really all about psychology. You know, as developers and creators, you know, we're trying to tell stories, but we want you to believe that you are really there. And even at first, you know, you first walk in, you might think it's a little cheesy, you're being called a Marine, but then you see that video with the colonel, then we show you the tutorial about the weaponry, and a little bit, all of a sudden it starts getting a little bit real. And I remember I had to go through it with somebody from the Jim Henson company, and I feel bad because this woman was really getting into it. And like during the weapons thing, I literally just went, boom, she screamed. I mean, like she literally, I'm like, we're not even in the experience yet, and like, this is gonna be fun. I mean, she literally, we were partnered up, and she would grab onto my arm and almost pulled me down more than once because she was like, okay, I got your back, you have my back, I have your back, you have mine, I'm like, you know, we're gonna be okay. So this really is a psychological thing. And what we also look at is like really this wireless free roaming thing. When you don't have the backpack or the tether, you really can get lost in that environment. You do feel that once you get past that, it's really interesting because, quick anecdote, we had a guy come in who was a hardcore gamer, and he has a whole blog and does all this type of stuff, and he comes off of the revolving thing, and he just, oh, come on here, he just starts walking like this. It's not working, it's not working. Right, because you have to walk. He was so used to the treadmill VR experience, he didn't know that you really could free roam and start walking and get lost in this. The minute he did, he goes, he was literally, like, he was almost emotional coming out of it. He's like, I've never experienced anything like this. And he had to go back in again just to experience it one more time. Really, the multiplayer experience, also a really big thing for us. Again, from a business perspective, being able to put multiple people in at once to have this experience, but it really does, we've had companies come in as for team building. You know, we've had boyfriend, girlfriend, like, you see different, your authentic self comes out sometimes, where we had a guy literally protecting his girl, like he literally was like, I got you, honey, because he was scared, and he tried to protect her. I think he was more afraid than she was. She's like, honey, I'm okay. I mean, you know, go shoot some aliens, I got this. But having that community around it brings people in. Once we added a scoring system, we continue to update this and add different elements. When we were able to gamify it, it did definitely started creating a repeat thing. Because you come out and on the board, it shows how you did against your friends, how many times you shot, how many times you used the grenade, what your percentage of accuracy was, and also it's like, people are coming back again just to try to get that, and now we're adding leaderboards and different things like that. It's, for us, we are in this for the long haul. And I sometimes say, you know, I feel like we're in the brick mobile phone era of the 80s where we are with VR. You know, the headsets are still a bit cumbersome, they're still breaking down here and there, but we continue to build on that and learn from that. I think that, you know, something Brian told me a long time ago when this guy from GoPro was talking, and he said that GoPro enabled people to have an experience transfer. And you could go places you've never gone before because of people that were taking these adventures on GoPro. But I feel now, even with VR, it takes that to a whole nother level. Being able to go to new worlds, being able to go to places you've never seen before, or experience, it's an amazing time for this. And I think right now at Pure Imagination, we're focusing on brands. We're talking to all the studios about things that we can do in VR. We're trying to find out and getting rights to different experiences. But eventually, when this is no longer a gimmick and is even more mainstream, I think that this is here to stay. You're going to start seeing a lot more original content. I just part of a roundtable, we were talking about when does original content and storytelling come into this, and it's now. But it's going to be a blend of it at the beginning, because we have to educate a really big population about how cool VR really is, and it's not just gimmicky. Sometimes I go to the mall, I see these little egg things. It's not doing justice to what VR can do, and I think we're just in the beginning of it. So it's really an exciting time. And I'll show you one last slide, because I didn't reference my wife not being able to do it, but you know, my 82-year-old mother was in town from New York, and she's like, I'll do it, I'm in. And she literally put her out this thing, and my CEO, who's behind me trying to scare me, literally said, you know, dude, as soon as you came out, you literally went off, ready to shoot aliens, you left the poor mom behind. I'm like, did you hear her? She was going to say, bring it on. She was ready to go. I mean, so she literally said, and the really cool part for her, not a gamer, had never experienced anything like this, so she wasn't just walking in her tracks, she wasn't used to the way games work. She was in it and got literally lost in it. She's like, so wait, were we outside? Because like when the wind hit me outside, I mean, and we were on 3 different floors, where's the elevator? I'm like, Mom, we were never on an elevator. Your brain told you you were on an elevator, and we did the rest. And she, to see it go through her eyes, just showed me where this is going as an industry. So it's very exciting. I think I made it good on time, right? All right, I'm talking too much.
Too entertaining to be time.
All right, fine. But I will wrap it up. I'm happy to answer questions outside, unless you don't have time for Q&A, right? Good. So, anyways, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And